Hey, it is Smooth Tim and Larry E. And thank you all for dropping in with us and spending another hump day with us on Tim's Tidbits. What's up, Larry? How you?
Same old, surviving the heat. It's cooler now,
I didn't think it was cooling off in Texas last I seen on that weather map. It said heat wave, excessive heat wave.
No, I guess we're used to seeing like 108 and now it's down to 100.
That's
That's
cool,
cooling off
right?
to me.
I'm ready to put on a jacket and shit. What?
Yeah, 8 degrees is 8 degrees. I'm like, I take that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. No, it's been a bit warm up here. I mean, it's not bad, but up north around the lakes, geez, we've had some weather. Other than that, it's been great. Going into the fall
Happy.
season
Yeah, and we're all happy. Texans, we're pretty satisfied with today only.
with today only. That's what. Give it an hour, the weather will change. That's
Oh, yes.
Texas. Hey, let's get into the night show, man. Anyhow, speaking of Texas, there,
Oh, shit.
I know. Why is it got to be like that every time? We got to start out with some BS about Texas. There's a county in Harris County, Texas, as a matter of fact, that's being targeted for some reason. Well, not necessarily for some reason, but being targeted by the Republicans.
The breaking news of the last few weeks is focused on Donald Trump's criminal indictment in Georgia and his alleged illegal efforts to subvert the election in 2020. But we've got to pay attention to what Republicans are doing right now to legally suppress the vote in 2024. In June, Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott signed a law passed by the Republican legislature that would abolish the county elections administrator in counties in Texas with more than 4 million residents, which means that the law applies to just one county in Texas, Harris County, home to 5 million people, 60% of whom are black or Hispanic and 56% of whom voted for Joe Biden in 2020. On Tuesday, the Republican-controlled Texas Supreme Court ruled that Harris County has to disband its elections office by September 1st and give the state Republican Secretary of State oversight of the county's elections. That's despite the fact that Harris County is scheduled to argue against the law's constitutionality to the Texas Supreme Court at the end of November. Harris's county attorney says it's illegal for Texas Republicans to pass a law that applies only to one county. So this Republican-passed law might be illegal, but Harris County has to dismantle its elections administrator's office ahead of the Texas Supreme Court hearing its appeal in November anyway. And while 2023 is not a presidential election year, voters are concerned that the county's not going to be prepared to oversee voting in local races in this November's election.
Surprise, surprise. Suppress the vote, right? Wait, no. Who's always accusing us of, suppressing the vote and cheating? And yet you've got a county down there in Texas where, what they say was that, Larry, 60%?
50% was black or Hispanic.
60%
No,
black.
60% was all of them. Then 50% of them voted for Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's so damn racist.
Politics are just so corrupt.
I can't even say that's racist. That's everything combined, bro. I'm like, it's so obvious.
Yeah, when it affects just one county.
Because that one county is probably the reason why, and it because everybody voted. I'm like, the past power to vote, and everybody said, we're going to vote 50% of them. That's a lot.
Well, think about that. How many people may have voted in that particular county, for Biden? Well, we know that 60% or 57% of the population voted. So why not try to negate some of that vote? So when it comes up to the next election coming up here next November.
So they're basically playing chess.
Play chess ahead of time. Yeah, make your move ahead of time.
Yes, but they said they had to dismantle it before. That part I didn't get. So
before the
it's
March. Because
unconstitutional.
you've got stuff, you've got the March stuff that's already passed, so now you've got November coming up here, and what if they can get? I would doubt that the Supreme Court's going to be able to intervene in time for them. So now you're going to have what, send results to the state? Is that what they said?
They got me. Now let's see. They
Yeah, I
making a
find that
part.
totally confusing. You talk about, being able to manipulate the vote or lose some votes or, insert some votes or whatever, you may or may not think could happen, but it surely could in that particular
But you know what
situation.
though? The crazy part of Tim, if the Republican Party are cool with this, what makes it make them what? I know it's got to be some worry that the Democratic Party can probably make a move like that too. Once the Democratic Party did the same thing in another place,
Yeah, but they said
another
the
area.
Governor Abbott,
So the
are,
governor,
yeah,
so the governor has to. Okay, the governor
the
wrote the
dude
legislation.
wheeling around, in his fancy wheelchair,
So
always,
he did
coming
that
up with
and
some
just got everybody
garbage.
to sign off on it. I
Yeah,
see. I see.
yeah.
So a governor has to do something like that. The state.
Abbott's always doing some type of crazy ass shit, and there's just another one.
Because I was trying to figure out how can like they just let that pass, but I see. I
There
see.
you go. It's kind of like a presidential thing, to where it's a presidential proclamation. This is just how it's gonna be, and if you
You know,
want to,
Texas has always did that. You know
always
that
doing
back
some
in the
crazy
day.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, back but
So
Texas has did that since this country was first. I mean, state because it was considered a country at one time because it was separate from everything else. Since the state separated, tried to separate from the union, it always did
yeah,
stuff
at
like
one
that.
time it
This,
was the Republic of Texas. Yes, so you're correct in that
yeah, yeah,
in what you say. Yes.
yeah. So they always been doing stuff like this. So
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy that no one has intervened and broke it up and stopped it.
Well, Texas always wants to be different than everybody else and separate, or it depends on the mood at the time.
But But when President Barack Obama became president, he still beat the odds. So I think that the Democratic Party can still beat the odds, regardless of what they do. And it shows how
To try to
desperate
suppress the
the
vote.
Republican
Yeah,
Party is.
you're
It shows how desperate they are.
right. Hey, let's move on, man. This happened in Pittsburgh, or just outside of Pittsburgh. Apparently, there was a situation where this guy had harbored some guns, and they ended up where the SWAT got called into this particular situation. And it sounds like this thing completely went off the chain crazy because there were 75 officers now are on suspension trying to figure out what happened here.
Tactical team exhausted every resource available from communication to playing family messages. The gunfire, the exchange of gunfire there was thousands of gunfire.
Thousands of rounds of gunfire, a city neighborhood riddled with bullets. Tonight, a lot of questions remain. One day after that shootout in Garfield, we can tell you that dozens of officers who were involved are now off the street. They include 47 City of Pittsburgh officers, 12 Allegheny County police officers, and 16 Allegheny County Sheriff's deputies. Police say those officers will be evaluated after their involvement in that highly charged situation yesterday. They'll likely be off the streets for several days.
Good morning, sir. How's your day? And then he was telling me that they're going to pay for this. I'm like, ooh, I said, be on the street. It's cool. He said, you'll see. And he walked away.
That man, who lives just a few doors down, says he had no idea that just days after that conversation with William Hardison, he'd turn what's been described as a normal, quiet neighborhood into a nightmare.
The gunfire, the exchange of gunfire there was thousands of gunfire. I just couldn't tell you the number.
The exact amount of shots, ammunition, even weapons used by the suspect is still under investigation by state police. And although neighbors say they had no idea what kind of stockpile Hardison may have been sitting on, one says she did see him with a gun case, which she says contained more than one rifle.
Because it was heavy. He was struggling from across the street to his house to get it into his house.
What do you think of that crazy shit? Big ass shootout, thousands and thousands around. Can you imagine that happening in your neighborhood?
I'm in Texas, yes. I just hope it doesn't happen to
Wait a
me.
minute. That was a stupid question. Could you imagine that happening in your neighborhood, Larry? Well,
Yes.
yeah, I'm in Texas. Wait.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
Yeah, I
It's
remember
just
everybody walking around with a damn gun. So,
yeah. And think about this, man. That's just one guy in Pittsburgh. Can you imagine a lot of guys I know have multiple guns.
yeah, oh yeah, have all kinds of yeah.
Matter of fact, I went to the gun range recently, probably 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think. And someone I know has a big giant Russian shotgun. You shouldn't even have that in your house. A Russian shotgun that if you shoot it, it'll blow half a door off. He let me shoot it, and luckily I got a little weight on me. It kicked my shoulder back. It's like it's a big giant like gun. Like matter of fact, like have you seen Expendables?
Mm-hmm.
The gun that
Shoots like a 50 cal or something.
50 cal, the one that the big black dude got. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
Bald black guy.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It is doof, crazy.
Oh yeah.
I know people that got people got guns. So if it pops off, it's popping off. The police don't really have a chance, honestly.
You know, we had a lot of weapons in our house. My dad used to shoot competitively.
Mm-hmm.
So he would go to national meets and stuff like that. And one time he was national champion, as a matter of fact. But we would travel, go to shooting matches, and I always had a lot of respect for weapons, you know, because, I've seen what they can do.
Oh, they're dangerous. I'm like, and that's just, you can get anything you want basically. It ain't like you just get a handgun, but a revolver. Back in the day, everybody had a little revolver or something like that.
Everybody had a 38, yeah.
Yeah, 38, yeah. Not now. Not no more. No.
You know,
they got the Terry Crews guns.
The big old, massive guns that shoot multiple rounds and shit. That's crazy. But
that's the world we're living in right now. We'll see. I can't imagine.
I don't know, man. Hey, you know what? Speaking of the world we live in, you know how they say, we fly the friendly skies, right? How about let's get into something that's seriously of an issue within the airline industry, and that is that apparently they didn't do that great of a job in the screening process when they were hiring pilots.
5,000 pilots under investigation, accused of hiding health issues. These pilots are also military veterans who failed to reveal that they were receiving disability benefits for conditions that could keep them out of the cockpit. The FAA already ordered 60 pilots to stop flying. Here's ABC's Zareen Shah.
Tonight, the shocking revelation from the FAA. They've ordered about 60 pilots who are also military veterans out of the cockpit amid an investigation into nearly 5,000 pilots who the FAA alleges falsified medical records. The Washington Post reports the probe, quote, has exposed long-standing issues in how the FAA medically screens pilots. That probe beginning in 2019, when the VA Inspector General's office became, quote, concerned that some pilots may be hiding mental health conditions or fraudulently receiving disability benefits. The FAA saying it has closed about half the cases and says a majority of the pilots whose cases remain open can still fly while they investigate. A senior U.S. official telling the Post that 600 of the pilots under investigation have licenses to fly passenger airlines. And the FAA says in a statement it will take more steps, including enforcement action based on their investigation into these cases. Now, the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association saying the Washington Post article and issue with VA claim does not acknowledge the exceptional safety record we are currently experiencing in general aviation. Furthermore, medical incapacitation is extremely rare.
Medical incapacitation is extremely rare, but that doesn't make me feel any damn safer.
I'm just saying, I'm a vet, disabled vet. So I'm just saying, if a brother got post-traumatic stress disorder, what he gonna spaz out on a plane or something? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I don't know, but I find it interesting that isn't there some disclosure that you're supposed to put on? I mean, yeah, you should make exceptions, and this individual may have PTSD, or this individual may have something else going on, blah, 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 blah. But shouldn't that also be disclosed in your hiring process?
All I'm saying, the majority of the medical disabilities that I've seen, they mostly have problems with you being mobile. They're not really psychological. Post-traumatic stress disorder, those with disordered, I can understand if you got depression or some kind of anxiety or something like that, but a lot of those other disorders or disabilities don't have anything to do with flying. So it's irrelevant what they're talking about. And the crazy part about it is if you fly for the Army or Marines or Navy or whatever in Vietnam and make it back and have to get killed, how come you can't fly for the airlines and make a check?
Damn.
I'm just saying they flew in the war. They flew whenever. They flew for Desert Storm, but then you can't fly for my airline because I'm getting a disability check because my ankle's hurt or I got a bad knee or my back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Some of those particular disabilities, I mean, what's the big deal?
Yeah, okay. Well, I thought you were saying that they shouldn't be flying. I'm like, well,
but no. I mean,
okay.
And this is crazy. And somebody had a traumatic brain injury, but they recovered. They were a pilot. I got my pilot's license. Should they be out there flying? Could something happen? Consequently,
if you got sleep apnea, you just fall asleep while you fly.
I mean, hey, what's worse? Some of them drink, others fall asleep. What the hell?
Yeah,
where was that that the pilot fell asleep? Didn't we do a thing on that like a few months ago where the pilot fell asleep?
Yeah, I'm like, if you got both your pilots got sleep issues, sleep disorders from the military, and they both fell asleep, you supposed to be flying to California when they wake up.
You hope that autopilot works like it should, right? Damn.
Yeah, you done flew over the sea and ran out of gas. You fell asleep. Yeah.
Why does he keep circling the airport? We supposed to land an hour ago.
But if you got a bad knee or a bad back, who gives a rat's ass? I'm like, you just flying an airplane. You ain't pushing an airplane or picking it up.
That's crazy. That's amazing. Hey, speaking of insane, this one's gonna trip you out too. This happened in Florida, and you wonder. We'll go back to Florida because DeSantis obviously can't do his job down there.
Oh, Florida and Texas.
Oh, Florida and Texas. Look what happened in Florida.
Keith, really bad timing here. This tainted gas, we're told, can stop your car in its tracks. Tonight, we are learning at least one worker made a big mistake.
It has nothing to do with the storm, but it's happening right on the eve of the storm.
Tonight, as Floridians brace for a hurricane, concerned some drivers could be stranded. State officials inspecting nearly 30 gas stations, including 13 in Tampa Bay. They say fuel supplied by Citgo was contaminated, and it can potentially damage your engine. If you filled up at one of the stations after 10 a.m. on Saturday, beware.
It was Saturday afternoon, actually, about 2 o'clock.
Your car's been acting funny.
Yeah, it's been...
It'll like hiccup, run a little rough maybe, spit and sputter.
If and when you hit car trouble, auto experts say find a safe spot and pull over. So how did this happen? 8 on Your Side has learned the contamination occurred at the Citgo terminal at Port of Tampa. The cause? Human error. The Port of Tampa Bay provides nearly half the fuel for the entire state of Florida. They are a major energy gateway. While Citgo is located here, port officials tell me they have nothing to do with Citgo. They say that Citgo owns the land, they hire the people, and any questions about what went wrong should be directed to the company. Tonight, a Citgo spokesman tells me they're, quote, conducting a complete review of the, quote, product routing issue at the terminal. Wilton Simpson, Florida's agriculture commissioner, is charged with investigating. He says that his agency has received more than 1,600 complaints thus far from consumers.
Man.
I think I got some bad gas recently, Tim.
Yeah, but I mean, if they know it's bad gas, all right, and they're still allowing these stations to pump it, my whole take on it was, don't you think Citgo should be coming up off of some cash to repair your car? I don't care if it's human error, not human error. I mean, they just screwed up how many vehicles?
Yeah, but the consumer always pays. The consumers always pay, no matter how bad these corporations or the government mess up. The consumers' tax money bails them out. Happens year in, year out. We are the scapegoat. Property gets damaged, we lose money in investments, we lose money in everything.
A bank goes under.
We gotta pay it back in taxes.
A bank goes under. Yeah, who ends up? Yeah, bailing all these people out. Yeah, oil companies. Yep. Yeah, banks.
That's why interest rates go up. We have to work longer, extra hours. They take out more taxes and everything.
And who bears the burden of all that
rich continue to stay rich, and no one ever gets in trouble. There's no infractions for those companies. And I think I got some bad gas. My vehicle's running bad, so I can imagine the people that just think their car just running bad. That could be the issue. Now I know something's going on.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know if Dallas is getting there. Well, you never freaking know where you're getting your gas out of.
Because I got some gas once and it was jumping and changing over, driving real rough. And I'm like, something is going on. And usually when it does it, I get some of that oil treatment poured in there, a couple of those, fill it up with some real good high octane
put
gas.
some STP
try
in
to
it.
run it all out. But I think, something.
Yeah, I put some gas treatment and stuff too if my car's acting a little bit on the funky side.
Yeah, but that's jacked up, man. But it's government. These corporations are just screwing people, man. I'm like, they'll mess up and they just do these bullshit investigations and they get swept under the rug, and then somebody get a kickback or a payoff and they shut the hell up, or they hire somebody that works for the other side that's doing the investigation just to make up some kind of false bullshit and say it's okay. That it's all crap, man.
Yeah, I get tired of it myself. I can't believe it. But hey, now hopefully some of these people are watching. Some of these people that are having their cars go to hell, now they're stuck. You know,
so what are they gonna do now, Tim?
Band together. I would get a cohesive group together, and I would sue Citgo. I'd say you're responsible for the repairs. This is BS.
That's down there like trying to sue the government, because Citgo is it's gas.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, their lobbyists can be all into their ass of every bit of those congressmen. You know, somebody should be responsible. Somebody needs to take ownership. You can't just blame it on human error. Well, too bad.
I think people should just suck it up, go ahead and get the tanks pumped, all that bad gas out, and just put some fuel cleaner and get your engine in.
They'll do something silly like they'll give them a little
losing battle
coupon for $5 worth of free gas or some shit.
Then you get some more bad gas. If I don't want no more bad gas.
I don't want any more bad gas.
I'm like, I look from a tank of my stomach. Don't want it.
Speaking of craziness, did you remember a while back ago we talked about Prigozhin? I think I'm saying his name right. That Russian general who had a little kind of a coup against Russia, was going to lead his troops back into Moscow because he wasn't happy.
I remember that. Yeah.
You know, his jet got shot down. They think he's dead. They think he's dead. Or hey, my standpoint on it is, hey, it could just be you've been erased.
New details just into CNN about what Vladimir Putin was doing as reports emerged that a plane reportedly carrying Yevgeny Prigozhin had crashed. Putin was leading a ceremony marking a World War II battle between the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany. And we're also now seeing just released data from Flight Radar 24 that reveals what happened in the plane's moments. The jet, according to the tracking site, leveled off at 28,000 feet, but it had erratic climbs and descents in its final minutes, and the plane dropped 8,000 feet per minute before data transmission stopped. Out front now, Mary Schiavo, former Inspector General for the U.S. Department of Transportation. Mary, thank you so much for bringing your expertise tonight. I want to play again that video of the plane that is falling out of the sky. You are an expert on plane crashes. What do you think happened looking at this video?
Well, there's so many clues here in the video. First of all, as you mentioned, it was at 28,000 feet in cruise. That's the safest part of the flight. With the seemingly missing the wing, and this simply doesn't happen. Commercial airliners, commercial planes, modern aircraft do not lose the wing. In my decades of working on plane crashes, I've only had one commercial plane that lost a wing, and it was 54 years old. And also the rate of descent, a normal rate of descent is 1,000 to 3,000 feet per minute, not 8,000. It was clearly falling. And if you look very closely at the video, you can see some other, not just the plane, but you can see some flashes, you can see other smoke, you can see debris separating from the plane. So there's just so many clues here that this was an explosion on the plane or a missile strike. And by the way, the descent is like other shoot downs we've seen, like MH17, the jetliner that was shot down by a Buk Russian missile, and the Ukraine Airlines that was shot down by Iran. So we have a lot of clues in this video.
Let's take a close-up look of what appears to be the missing wing here. Tell us what you were seeing.
Well, that's what it appears to be, and there have been some reports. Now, we don't know if they're reliable yet. That there were others that reported that seeing a missing wing and perhaps even an engine that fell separate, or part of the tail that fell separate from the plane. But you just do not have a situation where a modern aircraft, and this airplane. I mean, I'm familiar with the Embraer. The C is a modern plane, and it just never happens. You do not lose a wing from your aircraft in this day and age.
I want to take a look at what is left of the plane after it crashed. It is completely engulfed in flames. We have learned there were 10 people total on board. Russian media says at this point 8 bodies were found at the crash site so far. How hard or easy will it be to try to identify those bodies and just to know for sure, to confirm for sure that Prigozhin was on board?
Right. Well, you know, the world has a great amount of expertise in working crashes, and there are companies that do precisely this. And so if there is a cooperating investigative agency with DNA samples, it is actually, I won't say easy, but in most cases, all of the human remains are identified. It's done through DNA and other methods. And even in just a total explosion and burning situation like this, the human body has a lot of water content. In almost all cases where you have the remains, you can identify them if the investigators are inclined to work on it.
I like that. If the investigators are inclined to work on it.
I'm like this, bro. If you're gonna be at war with someone, was he flying commercial?
Prigozhin?
Yeah.
No, that was some private plane. It may have been. I think it was a private plane, kind of like not a commercial airline, but a private plane that had 20 some odd people on it.
I wouldn't fly for one thing. If you're already shooting down planes and stuff, on top of that, it could have been a bomb on the inside.
It could have been a bomb on the inside. My thought line of it, if it's that severe of a crash, I mean, how do you even know if he was on the plane?
It's true. And I'm like, where are the parachutes? I'm like, parachute up out that joint, man.
And like I said, I immediately thought,
during this time of war.
I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger, coming up, you've been erased. All of a sudden the whole plane. And who knows? I said he could be in Acapulco now, sipping on a drink. I don't know, but
all I know, Tim, if I'm at war, I'm gonna have on 2 parachutes. I'm like one on the front, one on the back. So if the back one don't work, I'm gonna try the front one.
I'm telling you.
That
didn't even look. I don't think you'd even have time to react in that situation. Did you see how quickly that plane went down? That just said it so quickly. I don't think you would have had time to react, to even grab a suit and get it on and get your ass out of the plane.
And it had to be an inside joint because we speculating, but it's
it's going to be speculation galore. You're going to have all kinds of conspiracy theorists jumping in on what may or may not have happened. But I found it quite interesting that, well, at least Putin got rid of one of his enemies.
Well, I ain't gonna say it's competition, but one of his foes.
Exactly. One of his people that had an opposite opinion of how the war should be ran than he did. Exactly.
Yeah, and you should keep that to yourself, especially when you're messing with a Russian.
Somebody like that.
Maybe not Russian, but a dictator like that.
Anyhow, hey, let's move on. As if there's not enough hate crimes. I don't know if you caught this one. What happened down in Jacksonville? Apparently, this guy just doesn't like black people.
It all happened at a Dollar General around 1 this afternoon. Police say the shooter left 3 different manifestos detailing his hate toward black people. Reports say the gunman then barricaded himself inside the shop and killed 3 victims, all of them black, before turning the gun on himself.
Portions of these manifestos detail the shooter's disgusting ideology of hate. Plainly put, this shooting was racially motivated, and he hated black people. I want to be very clear that there is absolutely no evidence that the shooter is part of any large group. We know that he acted completely alone.
We've learned no one else was hurt. The name of the shooter has not been released just yet. We'll follow this story. We'll bring you updates as they become available.
And yeah,
Okay,
actually,
man.
they have released his name now, and I don't know what it is.
Okay, I'm look, it's a lot of black people don't like, some white people don't like, Hispanic people, Asian people. It's a lot of different races of people I don't like, but I'm not gonna just kill them. I ain't gonna kill them, Tim. I'm gonna talk about you and say, hey, I'm gonna whip your ass if you don't get back or whatever, or get up out my face or whatever. But murder because you don't like somebody, because you hate. Hate is a big word. If you hate somebody, that means you don't like their existence whatsoever. When we say black people as a number, not a black person, a black man or black woman, black people, you got some serious problems. Very serious problems. Now, how you gonna hate black people? You don't even know all black people.
I have
Am
no
I right
idea.
or wrong about that?
I'm 100% there with you. I mean, why would you just pick out a particular race? Something happened. And as we said, sometimes, and it really depends. Let's get into where we've talked about where you have a circle of influence there that's just feeding you all kinds of bad karma. And filling your head with, philosophical stuff that really makes no sense, or ideologies that make no sense. Hate Larry because he's black. For the color of his skin. I don't know anything about him. I know nothing about you. You can nothing.
Ain't that crazy about it, Tim? Black is just what they call me. I'm not even black. You know what I'm saying?
I am not white.
Black is a color.
You call me white, and I am not. I don't see I'm not white.
Just a color.
Do I look this color? No, I'm not.
No. I'm like, it baffles me how simple-minded people are. I done had instances where I had run-ins with people of opposite stature of me when it comes to my skin tone. And have I disliked their character? Yes. Have I hated their character? I know people right now hate their character. They're just bad people. Hate the character. I don't hate them because he's white or black. I just hate their character. And I will say that I do hate people's characters, especially racist people. I hate their character. I hate the KKK's character. I hate the character of a lot of the politicians. And I say that because all they do is take advantage of people and turn them against each other. And they use them and take all their money. That's a terrible character trait, to use someone and mislead them and take their money. So I don't hate the individual because of what they look like. I hate them because of their intentions and how they act on their intentions.
Their ideologies.
Makes sense. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous.
I've been subject to black hate for just absolutely no reason whatsoever. And it's like, what have I ever done to you? I can't help it. That in your past, you may have been transgressions have been taken against you because of your race and or your religion, right? That doesn't make me the bad guy.
Yeah, and we got to be fair about this. At one time in our lives, every human being has been a slave somewhere down the line.
In one way and or the other. In fact, if you think about it,
until they got out of slavery,
we just made that remark, did we not? Did we not just make that remark? We're slaves of the government, bailing out the government all the time.
Now, just so happened in America, guess who the slaves are in America? Taxpayers are the slaves. Yep. Yes, we're the slaves. If you're not writing laws, I can't say enforcing laws because police officers enforce laws and still pay taxes. But if you're not writing the legislator and you're not the people that are paying for the people that's going to go in and write the legislature, you're pretty much a slave in this country because you're going to get used, misled, and you're going to get used and misled. Basically.
Yeah, it's interesting when the government overdrafts a check, we're responsible to take care of it, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm like, everybody, I'm a slave. You're a slave. If you paying taxes, you're a slave. That's just how it is. If you don't have to pay taxes, you're not a slave. And people need to know that. Yeah. And if they want to get mad at somebody, get mad at the government.
Not paying taxes, you're not an American, damn you.
And doing this like that. It's not me. It's not you. It's not that black man, that white man, Mexican man, the Asian man. It's them, the government.
There you go. Hey, speaking of craziness, you're not going to believe this one. This happened, and this is, I believe, it may be in Florida. Check this out.
Next, we head to Bunnell, Florida for a plea hearing. 60-year-old Mark McNeil has been charged with 14 counts of child neglect, driving under the influence with a person under 18, and resisting arrest. 4 months earlier, McNeil was arriving for his job as a middle school bus driver when one of his coworkers smelled alcohol in his breath and reported him to a supervisor. But not before McNeil had picked up 40 children from the school and begun his regular afternoon route. It's not clear if McNeil knew about the report, but he ignored repeated calls from dispatchers. After dropping off several kids, he finally stopped when his supervisor caught up with him, at which point he exited the bus and fell to the ground, complaining that he couldn't breathe. No children were injured during the incident. McNeil was arrested, and when tested, his blood alcohol level was 0.32, 4 times the legal limit of 0.08. He's agreed to plead guilty to all charges in exchange for a sentence of 1 year in county jail, avoiding any time in a state prison.
Here's the problem. So I think that you're impaired today. And so I can't take the plea.
I'm sorry?
I think you're impaired.
No, I'm not. I'm not impaired at all.
Okay.
I'm just so sorry.
You got a lab right here in the building. Let's do this. So I'm going to test you. Are you going to come up with alcohol or substances?
No.
Okay. So hang on. So let's go ahead and get you tested. Make sure that...
I'm not getting tested.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do, sir, is I'm going to go ahead and take you into custody right now because I think you are impaired.
I'm not impaired at all.
And so I'm afraid you are a danger moving forward here. And so what I want to do is get you tested. Let's get you tested. And if you're not impaired in any way, and you certainly do appear so, sir, but if you're not impaired in any way,
Do you know, Your Honor, that you know what? I am impaired. Okay? Because this is, I've got to go to jail. So, okay.
All right, very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can you believe that? Wait a minute. This bus driver, he gets pulled over, ticketed, right, arrested for being 3 times over the legal limit, and then he comes to court
drunk. Man, that dude is, his last years of his life. This is his first time probably getting caught, bro. He the way times he's been drinking and driving that bus. He probably doing that for like 30
Have you ever came across
years.
anything? I mean, what are you gonna do, Larry?
He probably been driving that bus with them kids for like 30 years. He probably going there like, man, I'm tired of these fucking kids. I'm gonna get drunk and I can deal with them. Have you ever been on a bus with a bunch of kids?
Yeah, that may be why he was drinking, right?
He should have just smoked some crack or something, bro.
I'd rather have a bus driver that's hitting the pipe than driving drunk. Excuse me, man. I gotta.
Yeah, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Get your motherfucking ass down. I can't even smoke my crack without y'all. God damn.
I couldn't believe that. I was like,
You had to be numb to bust them kids. I hope they weren't black kids. I hope they were a bunch of. He probably be getting them kids from high school, them black kids, high side, making fun of him. You old bald head white motherfucker.
Oh, I mean, you think about it, the stuff that goes on. How many times do you see these bus drivers, and we've showed it a couple times, going off
I'm
on
gonna tell you
these
something.
kids.
Black kids, they are mean. They can high side. They would talk high side. They'll basically talk about you so bad. They would drive
and talk about your mama and everybody else.
And then like they show get on white people. They just don't give them the break. I seen it. I've seen black bus drivers get up and beat the shit out of kids. The white bus drivers just get drunk. Like, you know what? These little black bastards, I'm just gonna get drunk. I ain't gonna beat one of them, go to jail. I'll go to jail for drinking, but not for beating up damn kids.
The black bus driver has his coffee with him.
Them black bus drivers will get up and whoop them kids' ass. But the white bus drivers just get drunk and smoke crack and say,
Another sip of coffee, I'll be just fine. Hey, man. You know what is really crazy? What? Yeah. Hey, I came across this, and you know that it's getting real tough now. Do you find somebody that can, do the job, just the simple little jobs, right? So check out what's happening. The national parks has got the idea of how they can try to help a little bit out on the, the employment problem. You got to say, no, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Raised. He's like, man, I'm tired of these stupid ass people coming to my park,
knocking shit over, and look at this mess they left. Trash, knocking over orange cones.
Christ. Another cone.
Humans.
Where's the
Humans.
Where's the cap guy? Where's the ranger?
And where's Ranger Smith when you need him?
Yeah, take care of this myself. Stupid people.
I saw that. I said, that is so damn cute. I couldn't believe that bear did that. What induced that bear to go along and set that cone up and then just keep on bouncing?
He's probably in that bear's mind. He's used to seeing it standing up, and he was probably like.
And it could be that he's used to seeing that kind of shit along the highway, and that's supposed to be up. And he just went over there, and picked it up, and then kept on moseying along. We could use a few more workers like him. So, Yogi, or whatever your name might be, we appreciate your hard work and dedication to our national parks. Thank you very much.
Seen people that's like, that's not my job. They'll keep walking right past it.
I'll tell you. Hey, but sometimes, your neighborhood can go completely to hell. Not just because people are knocking over orange cones, because people obviously just don't know how to frickin' drive.
Have some wild video for you. All new at 6. A man is now behind bars after crashing into multiple cars, and it happened in a Gwinnett County neighborhood.
37-year-old Patrick Humes now faces dozens of charges. Fox 5's Kim Loeffler spoke to neighbors who are now working to get their cars repaired.
That driver hit a total of 30 vehicles in this neighborhood Monday afternoon, and now residents, some whose cars are not drivable, are still shaken up by what happened. A landscaper caught the moment a driver went from driveway to driveway in the Berkeley Hills Estates neighborhood Monday afternoon, crashing into almost every car he could see. Kyle's son and Max Parker both had their cars pushed into their garages.
I just think somebody trying to rob me. When I went out, I think not only me, they're trying to crash all the block.
Still in disbelief, how could one person cause that much damage? Or why would one person cause that much damage?
Gwinnett County Police say 37-year-old Patrick Humes from Athens was behind the wheel, damaging 30 cars belonging to over 24 people before he left the scene. Officers tracked him down 2 hours later.
I believe it was his parents' SUV that he was driving around through the neighborhood. They located it abandoned a little over 4 miles away at a tire shop. And then so once they found the vehicle there, they started searching around there and found the suspect in the McDonald's next door to the tire shop.
Police believe Humes suffered a mental health crisis. He's been charged with 28 counts of criminal damage to property.
Yeah, I'm glad no one out here got hurt. That's the main thing, because we have a pretty quiet community that's on a golf course. It's family-oriented and things like that, so I'm glad no kids got hurt.
Humes is currently in the Gwinnett County Jail without bond.
Yeah, be like, what?
Yeah, right. They interviewed the Asian guy and the black guy, and the white guy was hitting people's cars.
I mean, you got...
I'm just saying,
the guy had a mental problem. You think that he had some type of a mental issue going on? I mean, he's driving in and out of driveways, smashing
blacks
into...
and Asians in my neighborhood near the golf course. What the blacks and Asians doing by the golf course in our neighborhood?
That's probably why he was in there smashing. You know what, Larry? You got a point.
Yeah, that was a hate crime. In the interview with the Asian dude and the black guy, I said, I see what happened. Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, it was another freaking hate crime.
The first thing that came to my mind when I saw, I said, what the hell the black dude and the Asian dude doing in a nice neighborhood by a golf course? He was probably thinking the same thing. I'm going to hit their fucking cars.
Yeah, I'm just going to take their damn cars out. That's what they get for moving into my neighborhood.
That guy's racist.
Oh, man. Hey, and yeah, speaking of craziness in neighborhoods, let me squeeze this one in real quick. We've talked about this crap before, and, sometimes you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and, man, can shit go wrong.
It appears to be a mistake gone terribly wrong. A 20-year-old college student left dead after trying to enter the wrong house on his South Carolina street. Tonight, Nick D'Onofrio from Madison, Connecticut is being remembered as an exceptional student and athlete.
I remember the last time we played together, our senior year. We were both very emotional because we knew it was the last time we'd ever be on the court together.
The sophomore at the University of South Carolina had recently moved into a house on South Holly Street, the same street where police say a call came from at 2 a.m. Saturday. First, a report of a burglary.
Called to the subject working the door.
Quickly upgraded to shots fired.
I know the subject was hit.
Police say when they arrived, D'Onofrio was deceased, a gunshot wound to the upper body. They have not said who shot him, simply that they continue to consult with the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office regarding the circumstances of the case. South Carolina does have a stand your ground law, also known as the Castle Doctrine, which allows someone in their home or place of business to not retreat and use deadly force in self-defense. It's not the first time something like this has happened. Earlier this year, a white man in his 80s shot and wounded black teenager Ralph Yarl when he rang the wrong doorbell, while 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis died when someone shot at the car she and her friends were in when they accidentally pulled into the wrong driveway.
Damn. Yeah. Damn, can you imagine? And this South Carolina student just moved, so I can understand it. And he may have been partying. I don't know. They didn't say anything good.
I'm thinking that he had to be partying.
He may have been partying a bit.
He probably wasted and just made the mistake.
And made a mistake coming up to the wrong dorm.
He sounds too sharp and too smart to make that mistake.
Yeah,
he has to be inebriated.
I'm sure he would. Yeah, and that may come out. And so, what if he was?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm be honest, Tim. If I'm here with my wife and daughter, and someone's trying to come into my home, and it's late at night, you shoot first, ask questions last. I'm like, that's if you come into my home and I don't know who you are, and especially if I'm not as scary as a woman would be or an older man or whatever. You might have an opportunity, but once I know that you ain't to harm my people, harm my family, if I got a gun, I'm probably gonna shoot. I'm probably gonna stab you because I use hunter's knives. I use a knife, Big John with a Rambo joint. So I got it right by the bed. My wife got the heat, but you gonna get gutted messing with me. So, but come on, Tim, be honest. If that would happen to you and someone's kicking in your door or whatever, it had to be something aggressive or something like that. If somebody come in or whatever, or
right? You never know what. Yeah, he could have been out there just kicking at the door. You don't know what the hell was going on. Why the guy reacted as he did.
I would have, like I say, I'm not gonna shoot unless.
That's gonna be my last resort. Yeah, that's gonna be my last resort. Is the one I have to shoot somebody because then.
Yeah. Because, like I said, I don't believe in guns myself. My wife
you can't take that bullet back.
I have shotguns. Yeah, I have shotguns, but if it's a gun on me, I'll use a gun if I have a gun. If somebody has a gun on me, if somebody tries to shoot me and I take the gun from them, of course I'm.
As you said, there's other weapons available within your home that you could utilize to defend yourself before having to resort to.
You got to get them. And I'm like, you ain't gonna ask. Well, how you here? What's going?
Yeah,
you're gonna be afraid.
Yeah, what are your intentions? What are you thinking about?
You know how people are over guns these days.
You're 100% right. 100% right. Hey, let's get on to your favorite part of the show, and that would be the Asshole Award. And let's see who catches it this time.
Fences may make good neighbors, but cameras keep them honest. And when a family suspected a disgruntled neighbor might be behind the noxious fumes they kept smelling, they set up a camera. And Stephen Fabian says they were stunned by what they saw.
You are watching what cops say is a terrible crime committed by a brilliant chemist. First, he's seen filling a syringe with some sort of substance. Then he places the syringe under an apartment door. What was your reaction when you saw your neighbor injecting this substance into your home? Umar Abdullah and his wife had just had a baby. Almost immediately, they say, their downstairs neighbor, then a PhD student in chemistry, began complaining about noise. That's him skulking outside the apartment in Tampa.
After my daughter was born, right after we came back from hospital, he started complaining.
Then the family began smelling chemicals pervading the apartment. Everyone, including the baby, started getting sick.
She used to cough. And subsequently she used to vomit.
Air conditioning ducts were cleaned, plumbers checked all the pipes leading to the apartment, and the landlord even replaced the water heater. But the noxious fumes became overwhelming, and that's when the new dad decided to install a hidden camera. At first, the surveillance video caught just a glimpse of the suspect. The next day, when the camera was repositioned, this happened, and the terrifying truth came out. Initial toxicology reports from police say the substance being pumped into their apartment consists of 2 strong opioids, methadone and hydrocodone. The suspect is identified as Shu-Ming Lee, who got his PhD in chemistry at the University of South Florida. A promising future ahead of him, now in jeopardy for one incredibly foolish act.
The chemistry student has pled not guilty. The family is looking for a new place to live.
I can't blame him for finding a new place to frickin' live. You believe that crap?
That's hate. He just hate that kid.
I'm like, what is up with that? What
that's real hate.
Thinking?
He just hate babies. He hate that kid, fucking asshole. That's a hate crime. Man, think about it. He could be convicted for injury of a child if that child is found to be sick from those chemicals he put in there.
Yeah, if it would develop some type of developmental disability because of the chemicals that were induced.
Yeah, dumbass. See, you know what? People come to America, get educated, and they use their education in a negative manner. He needs his ass whooped.
Yeah, he definitely does. I was sickened by that one too.
Prick, man. Everybody's a prick. Black, white.
Yeah, that's kind of
how you gonna discriminate when everybody's an asshole?
See how we spread the hate around. We let you know that it doesn't matter if you're black, if you're white, if you're of Asian descent, of it doesn't matter. Yeah, there's hate everywhere. All we're asking is take a freaking pill, people. Chill the fuck out. Stop.
Fucked up. Chill out. I'm like, we should love each other, we want to hate each other. Then we can get rid of these damn crooked ass politicians that's robbing us.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the plan, though, Larry. Don't you know?
Yep.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to conquer a nation divided.
Divide and conquer. That's how you do it.
Divide and conquer. Hey, let's get into it, man, so you can get the heck out of here. I know you got some business later on tonight.
Hey, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram, IG, LRE, Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. I give you fitness tips every week, and my tip this week is rest. Get some rest. Work out hard, get you a good workout, get you some good training in, and then rest. The requirements of rest depends on what your schedule is when it comes to work or your family or if you're a professional athlete. So the harder you train, the harder you work out, the more time you spend in the gym developing a particular skill or trying to get in more condition or trying to develop muscles or strength or endurance, the harder you work out, the more rest you got to get. So remember to get some rest. And sometimes if you feel weary, you can't really get a good workout, try to get it. And if you can't, stop. Go home and rest, because it's better to be ready than better to go out there and think you're ready and hurt yourself. Rest helps prevent injuries. Rest. Train hard, work out hard, and rest hard. LRE Fitness Solutions, IG, and Facebook. We keep you moving.
That's right, LRE Fitness. You know what? And I want to steal a line. This weekend was also the, I believe it was the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington. Is that right? And I want to steal a line from Martin Luther where he says, I have a dream that all men and all women, no matter race, creed, color, or religion, are created equal and treat each other equally and fairly. And that's kind of what we were talking about tonight. Yes. So you know what? Hey, let's go back a little bit. This has been a dream for a long time. Embrace the man's dream and just let's get along, okay? Give it a shot. And hey, and that's it. Let's wrap this up. And until next week, Larry and I are so out of here, and we appreciate you all. Peace. Bye.
Want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state. I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need